Alright, so before we take a look at round 7's fixtures, let's go ahead and take a look at how we did last week. We went technically 4 from 8, but the Warriors did draw, so we're going to count that as a dub. I know, shameless, but that brings our total to 30 from 48. We'll take it. 3 of our try scorers saluted as well, and we almost had a couple of perfect games. On the other side of the scale, 2 teams rolled out the red carpet for us. Thanks a lot for nothing, West Tigers and the Cowboys. But yeah, we've got some intriguing lineups here to look through, with a few players returning and just some tough matches to pick, for me at least. Let's take a gaze. We kick off round 7 with an absolute heater. The Sydney Roosters host the Melbourne Storm at Allianz Stadium. As for the ins and outs, James Tedesco's back, so Manu goes back to centres, and Sualii moves back to the wing. Falling out of the team, we have Setili Tupouniua, who's out with a head knock. Man, there's been plenty this season, and filling in for him on the bench will be Egan Butcher. They've also got Sam Walker listed in the 22, so he could be back for Connor Watson, which would eventually force Zach Docker-Clay out of the 17. Now for the Storm, they welcome back big Nelson Asofa-Solomona, who will be filling in at prop for Tui Kamikamitho. This will be the first time we see Nelson for the 2024 season. I guess this injury kind of forced Bellamy's hand to play him, because apparently Bellyache wasn't too happy with how he turned up in the preseason. Well, that was the whispers surrounding his little stint in reserve grade. They also welcome back Joe Chan, who will be coming off the pine in place of Tepai Moeroa. And as for my pick, this one, super even. I don't know who to take, to be fair. We might just go with the home field cheese and take the Roosters at Allianz. Although I don't like betting against Melbourne's big four when they are together. This is what, their 3rd week in a row? Yeah, I'll take the Chooks. We'll go 1 to 12. And let's go with Daniel Dubois to score in the corner. Kicking off the Friday doubleheader, we have the Dragons hosting the Warriors at Wynn Stadium. And as we look for changes to the side, starting with the Dragons, Jack Bird, another head knock, so a mandatory 1 week stand down, suspension, whatever you want to call it. Zach Lomax actually moves back into the centres with Christian Tuipolotu getting his first run of the season, I believe, for the Red V. Another interesting thing is in their reserves, they got their newly signed for Abano Brown in the 22, so he could potentially jag us a bench spot, I guess. For the Warriors, one forced change, and that is Adam Pompey moving from 18th man to the bench. I'm interested to see how they use him. They've always had kind of light benches, and their bench heading into this, Shana Harris-Tavita, Tom Ale, Jacob Laban, and yeah, Adam Pompey. The man to fall off is Jazz Tavanga, as he came out of last week with a hammy problem. As for my pick in this, I'm still pretty high on the Warriors. Even though they came out of last week snapping their 3-win streak with a 22-22 draw. In the head-to-head, the Dragons are well ahead, winning 24 of the 36 played, but under the new regime, if you will, the Dragons are actually a pretty favourable matchup for them. So yeah, we're going to take the Warriors on the road. As for the try scorer, we're going to roll the dice on the big boy, Adam Funua-Blake. Friday's headliner, we are heading over to Darwin at TIO Stadium, where the Eels host the Dolphins. Looking at the ins and outs, one change, and that is to the bench. Blaise Talangi in the 17. Our falling out is Kalma Tuilangi. That is a crazy reserves list. Tuilangi, Woodamu Greg, Makatoa, and Micah Sivo. As well as Brendan Hans unable to crack the top team for the Dolphins. With Hamiso Tapuai-Fidow going down in the Battle of Brisbane, filling in for him at fullback will be Trey Fuller. They also welcome back suspended Max Plath. He jumps straight back into the 13, and Sean O'Sullivan joins the bench for the suspended Anthony Milford. We are going to keep it short and sweet here. We're taking the Eels to get the dub over the understrength Dolphins, and to score a try. I'm actually not too sure. I think we're going to take the skip. Yeah, we'll do that. So we've got Parramatta 13 plus, Clint Gutherson. The first game for Saturday takes us to Carrington Park, Bathurst, a 3 PM game. We've got the Panthers hosting the West Tigers. An interesting match this. One change to the Panthers. They welcome back Scott Sorensen, so that forces Garner back to the bench, and Matt Eisenhuth drops out of the side. For the Tigers, Lockie Galvin makes his way back from suspension. Brett Naden also replaces the youngster Solomona Fa'ata'ape, and Johnny Bateman makes his way back to the starting side, pushing Seyfarth to the bench. Joining Seyfarth, also returning from a concussion, Samuela Fainu, Ladu Fainu, pushing Justin Matamor and Jake Simpkin out of the 17. Fellas, it's a pretty straightforward selection for mine. My head's telling me to back the machine even without Nathan. I do see them grinding out a team like the Tigers, I actually do like the Tigers' chances of an upset, but I'm not too confident in tipping them for the week. So yeah, we're going to stick with our head, back the machine, and the Tigers to keep it competitive. We'll go Penrith 1-12 and give us Tiny May for the meat pie. The second game for Saturday, we have the Gold Coast Titans hosting the Manly-Warringah Sea Eagles at Cbus Super Stadium. Bit of drama in this one. Des Hasler coming up against his old club. Let's skim through changes here. We do see a few outs for both sides. Jaden Campbell, after going down last week, will be missing outs. They've actually gone off Philip Sami to play fullback. Bremo's playing in the 5'8" position. So much for a standout year at centre. And Dave Fifita has been moved to the starting side. For the Sea Eagles, they have a bunch of talent returning. Matt Lodge, named to play his first game of the season. They've also got Ruben Garrick, Nathan Brown, the impact off the bench, as well as their winger, Jason Saab, finally back after going down in that Las Vegas match. Falling out of the squad due to injury, we got Tofa Sipley and Ben Trebojevic. As for my pick, I am on the Sea Eagles. Titans at home. I mean, the Titans have been pretty terrible this year. They did put up a fight against the Raiders. They kind of got robbed low-key, but that's neither here or there. Yeah, give me the Sea Eagles, let's go Lukey Brooks. Lukey Brooks loves taking on the line, so we'll hop on him for a bit of value for our meat pie. And in the prime time 7:30 PM slot, we have the Broncos hosting the Raiders at Suncorp Stadium. Looking for changes on the side of the Broncos, and it is the same 17 that put a whooping on the Dolphins last week. The Raiders, one forced change. Zaki Hosking out with a shoulder injury. Jumping into the second row, they got Ata Mariota, and Simi Sasangi joins the bench. As for my pick, I remember this match last year where we tipped the Broncos to absolutely smash the Raiders, and they came out with that old sticky mentality, that sticky playstyle. They ended up pumping the Broncos through the middle and edged out a close one. For this game though, we'll be back in the Broncos again, but we'll be back in a close one. We'll go Broncos 1-12, and let me get Reece Walsh to bag a meat pie. First of two for Sunday, we have the Bulldogs versus the Knights, this being played at Accor Stadium. And as we look at the lineup, Connor Tracy will be remaining in the 1 jersey. Blake Taff returning, he'll be coming off the bench. They also have Curtis Morin returning from a suspension and making way for those two players, Jake Turpin and Kitione Kautonga. For the Knights, it is an unchanged side, so nothing much to say about that. They still have KP in the side as well, who was struggling in the back end of the first half last week, but it looks like he's all good to go. As for my pick, this is actually a tough game for mine. I actually like the way the Bulldogs have been playing these last few weeks. Looking at their head-to-head, it's pretty much even, a slight advantage to the Knights, 22 wins to 21. And their previous meetings, they've been pumped twice. First 66-0 back in July, and later in August, 42-6. I think I want to jump on an upset in this. Like I said, I do like the Bulldogs. I do like them at home. Burton and Kickout's been going off for them, and their defense in general has been pretty brutal. So have the Knights, to be fair, especially early in matches, but they do tend to fall off. And I don't know, the Knights, they could have won that game last week, but they just had no support runners off players making breaks and half breaks. But yeah, I'm on the Dogs at home, and I want to take Bronson Xerri to bag a meat pie. And to close out round 7, we have the top of the table Sharkies hosting the North Queensland Cowboys at PointsBet Stadium. Looking at the changes for the Sharkies, we have a debutant on the wing. Sam Stonestreet will make his debut in place of the suspended Sione Kato. They also welcome back a bit of punch through the middle in Braden Hamlin-Welle. And the one change for the Cowboys, Simi Valame gets his first run of the season in place of Murray Taulangi, who was unavailable due to a hamstring injury. As for my pick in this, I'm going to back the boys in blue. Give me Cronulla, and then give me that big skyscraper in the middle, Tommy Hazelton. Can we call it twice in one season? I do like him through the middle for the Cowboys, who have been looking a little soft through the middle. We'll also take the Sharks in a close one, 1-12 points. So that is Cronulla and Thomas Hazelton. And that's about it for this week's tips and predictions. As always, if you have any of your own, let us know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed that, be sure to run and show that like button. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you later.